I am live. Hello, 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 and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. As I am saying that, I'm realizing that someone in a video from yesterday said, "Hey, that Khosi wasn't energetic enough." Anyways, we're alive after having some glitches again. Someone is targeting me. I'm joking. So, Mike Mancave, the agent of Pro Sport, well, he's the owner, founder, whatever. There are many words you can give him. Has said that when he was talking on radio that Kaizer Chiefs are talking to one of his players. Now we know that already at Kaizer Chiefs, Mike Mancave presents Samgelo Zwane, he represents Uduba Wandile, he also represents Umdu Shabalala. So already he has a good relationship with Kaizer Chiefs, and those are the three players that he already represents. But on top of that, he also represents players such as Usbisi or Orlando Pirates, Edward Chifila is not playing in South Africa at all, Oli Sanda, Osman Diayo, and Chandra Campbell, Boitumelo Radiopane, and Obamelo Kodisang. Now, these are all players that you look at and you're like, they have teams. Most of them do. And if you look at Usbisi Nonda, it's not players that Kaizer Chiefs are looking to sign, because as far as I'm concerned, there has been no worries about Kaizer Chiefs signing anyone at the back, which leaves us with two players. One of them is Chandra Campbell, who's already been linked with Kaizer Chiefs. But at the same time, there's been a lot of talks about him being prepared for a move abroad, right? But that has not happened yet. It has not materialized. But at the same time, there are cards open for him to go abroad. But at the same time, people will say, or I will say, we've heard this before, because Mike Mancave says that the player wants to go abroad. They want to keep the dream of his alive. But then again, I look at the Super Sport United team, I'm like, yeah, they're a good team, but really how much exposure do they have? And that's where Kaizer Chiefs comes in to, we do export players. As much as Kaizer Chiefs have been playing nonsense for the past 9 years, we have still sold two players abroad, Unjabulo Plom, and we also sold Usiabonga Ngizana just this past season. No, well, not this Nsegi season. I mean this Calvin Johnson season, but that other season. So knowing that Kaizer Chiefs has been the team that exports players consistently, then it would make sense for a player who wants to go abroad to come to Kaizer Chiefs. Because if you really have ambitions, I'm not taking shots at Sundowns here, but if you have ambitions, you don't go to Kaizer Chiefs. Ne? You don't go to Sundowns because there is more competition there and you are likely not going to play. However, if you come to Kaizer Chiefs, there's an opportunity to play, and then you might end up going abroad. Now, Mike Mancave obviously did not confirm and say, hey, this is the player who's going abroad. He just hinted that, yes, there is a player under him who is going abroad. And the reason why I'm insisting that this might be Chandra Campbell is because you look at the other player, Ukodisang. Odisang was at Braga. Uzwane wanted him. He really, really wanted him to come to Kaizer Chiefs. And if Braga at the time could not come to an agreement with Kaizer Chiefs, so what did they do? They sent him down to the second division with this team called Monte. I can't even pronounce them. It's a Portuguese name. So he goes to the team. He helps them gain promotion last season, right? So by the start of last season, they say Kodisang, they spend in euros, 500,000 euros, which is like 12 million-ish in South African rands. So he goes there. They sign a 4-year contract, which means they are really serious and they see him as a future. This season, he played half the games, well, 50 minutes, or not 50 minutes, 50% of the minutes, and he's been playing for them as well. And he scored 3 goals and had 1 assist, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not a bad return, right? So you think that with a player that is contracted for 3 more years with Braga, then it would be much easier for them to keep him. But Chandra Campbell, on the other hand, is the one that I think Mike Mancave is talking about. And I'm actually interested to hearing what you guys think about Chandra Campbell, Do you think that he's ready to actually come and be a Kaizer Chiefs player? And would he start? Because we do not have much cover on that left wing position. Umodi is just playing on his own, and when Modi is benched, they try playing Dupree there, which I think that's what Dupree should be playing anyways. But do you think that it would make sense? Do you think that it would make sense? Let me make a poll here. Do you think that it would make sense for Chiefs to sign Campbell? Should Chiefs, I'll read your comments in a second, sign Chandre Campbell? There is a yes and there is a no. Because in SuperSport, you obviously know they're going to want a lot of money. And the Chiefs and SuperSport don't have a good relationship. So that's also a factor. In your comments, also tell me why you think that is the case. Daniel is saying, good evening indeed, Daniel. Umandla, long time no see, saying, Khosi Nation, Chandra Campbell will cost 20 to 30 million. That will never happen for Kaizer Chiefs. I agree. It's really difficult because if you think about it, Chandra Campbell, but the market value is nowhere near 20 million. But we know that now players are not only signed based on how much they cost or what they've done, but they're also sold and signed based on potential. We saw this thing with Utapelo Masego going to Mamelodi Sundowns. The price was 20 million. It was mad. 21 million. I'm like, for Lambe, Pelalomchita still needs a lot of development. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but 21 million for him. So in SuperSport, they got that amount of money. So I understand. And then Mandla is saying we have a better chance with Luke Batman than Chandra. That is true. But then again, that's why I'm asking Guti, out of the players that Mike Mancave represents, he's already said, because the other person in this list of Mike Mancave is Uradiopane. And Uradiopane had an injury and he did not play that much. So that makes me go, I don't think that would be happening anytime soon. And then Tsepis was saying, who's going to be the coach Valley? Right now, the coach, the leading candidate is Unazratin Nabi, and Unazratin Nabi is what's this thing? Chiefs are talking to him, and even Ukeza Mtangu Senior is talking. I made a video about the whole video about it yesterday, so you can go check that video out. Okay, so another comment is saying, who's going to coach? Okay, saying pending. Maxwell is saying, hi Mpilo, what happened to the player we once wanted to tell? Hey Chiefs, this is another thing. This is why journalists, if you noticed, if you are following the news, journalists are scared of reporting about Chiefs these days. The reason why they are scared of reporting about Chiefs is because Chiefs changes their minds so fast. I've gotten it from a lot of people like who know what is happening in Chiefs. Like one, you do know Mutuka Batino Mango was going to come to Kaizer Chiefs, but fans were complaining and were saying this and were saying that. Chiefs ended up turning around and not signing him. That's one of the signing. Ukele was on his way to Kaizer Chiefs, and then they cancelled that deal as well. Ukele Vela was not going to come to Chiefs, but fans were complaining about not having a striker, and we lost to Sundowns. They ended up signing him. So Kaizer Chiefs, they're constantly changing decisions, and because of that, you end up not being reliable in what you are saying sometimes, because they will do this and then be like, let's change our minds. Even now, the sporting director is not involved in the negotiations to sign a coach, which means they are kind of demoting Ukeza Mtangu Junior in this process, and Upobi Mtangu is kind of going back. So kuningi nje izinto ezenzakala lapha Chiefs, and you cannot say today, oh yeah, this is definitely happening at Kaizer Chiefs, but we can say this is what's happening today, right? That's why we post videos every day, because what's happening today might be completely different tomorrow with Kaizer Chiefs. So yeah, Maxwell is saying, Chandra is ready Mpilo with Nabi on board sizokhathaza abantu ngiyakuzwa mina. And then Mandla saying Chandra needs to go to Europe. He would be wasting his own time in SA. It usually takes players 2 years to adjust in Europe. E.g. Lyle Foster took almost 3. You know what's also interesting, what I will always say, is that colored players seem to do better in Europe than black players. This is not racist at all. This is not to suggest that England is racist or whatnot. No. This is to suggest that it seems like the colored players have a better work ethic than the black players. Because look at how many players actually have been like a beacon of hope for South Africans in Europe. Like the only one, black one, Lucas Sate was the right one. Watson. Utirashu after World Cup what just disappeared. Utawu Brighton under like twadlala yamhluli precious England kwathiwa the coach was racist beqamba because he played black players, and then Uta was here an exception now. So abantu bebekhuluma nonsense. So basically, when you look at the colored players, Abo Steven Pinar, you look at Abo Foster right now with the Burnley, you look at Abo Pietermaritzburg, the Blackburn Rovers for a long time. So this is why I'm thinking Ushandra Campbell, I do not know how the coloreds raise their kids. Maybe they should share it so that we point it to our parents who are raising footballers to say, hey, look at what Pietermaritzburg did when he went to Europe. Because it seems like there is that problem in South Africa. And we should fix it, because, I mean, why are they not succeeding? Because I don't like throwing this thing, there's racism. No. Because as far as Europeans are concerned, if you are colored, you are black as well. So, because Obonganzungu, Obonganzungu to this day, I got angry with him because of the fact that he had a chance. He was playing under Steven Gerrard, and he went to a party during COVID. That pissed me off. I'm like, mate, you are about to make it. You are playing for Rangers. The next thing you know, you could be in England. You could be, a party. I'm like, guys, you're misrepresenting us, man. You're misrepresenting us. Anyways, rant enough. Let's go on. Utebo is saying it will be good to bring that boy. I'm praying for this move to happen. As Umandla said, this move would cost us 20 to 30 million. And also there's that factor of the relationship being so horrible. And then Patrick is saying, Khosi. And then Cobra Tate fan is saying, I just thought of the name, Tate fan. Khosi doesn't have to buy players. They need a coach who will coach the players we have. You know what? That's a hot take, which I agree with, by the way. I think that with the players that Kaizer Chiefs have, a good coach can take that squad and transform them. That is me. I believe that Chiefs has enough players in every position except the left back. Kaizer Chiefs has enough players. People will say that, because they were being coach nonsense. Get the team a good coach. You will see what will happen. I agree with you 100%. Daniel is saying, what are your 3 key areas to address in the window? Oh, thank you for asking that question. I was just saying this. So the first one, sign a left back. Yabona nje, sign a left back, sign another one. I would literally sign a left back out too, or sign a left back and produce and get another one from development. But right now, my main thing, my main worry is signing a left back. Not because Uslanti was the worst player in Chiefs colors, but because he's 34 and it doesn't seem like his contract will be renewed. And even when he did play, he did not really produce much. And that's not just down to coaching also. It's also that in Javel, as I said, he's 34. So running up and down at 34 years old is not really a thing that you are expecting. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is, if we do lose Dupree and he ends up going abroad as is wanted by FCSP, then I would also sign a left winger. I'm not sure about signing a 10, because we've talked about Chiefs lacking creativity and all of that stuff, but I don't think that creativity is the only problem. I think that the other thing is what's this thing? The other problem I have with the Chiefs, Uguti, there are no patterns of play that lead to creating chances or putting the number 10s in right positions. If you watch Man City, Utia Bruyne will always be in a half space. Utia Bruyne umtoli a central. Most of the times, he's not wide, but he's most likely going to be in the half space, because that's the most dangerous space in football. So for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, wide spaces are like wide, la kudlala khona ama-winger, and then half spaces are like in between the wide areas, like, and then the central areas. La centrally la kudlala khona abo number 6, 9, but maula we have space. That's why you are dangerous. That's how De Bruyne plays those passes, because there is a good angle from those positions and all of that. So it's under Pep, they always try to put De Bruyne in those positions, and he roams around there and he finds the ball there, and they always make sure that he is in those positions. But kwi-Chiefs umbona umuntu ngathi udlala as a 6, ungivela ungaqondi ukuthi sekwenzakalani. So I think if you have a proper system, number 10 Chiefs, there's a lot of them, and they could probably make a difference. So yeah. Let me read another comments. It's saying that, oh yeah, so yeah, so the first one will be the left back position. I think that's the main one. That's the thing that I'm saying. I would want a left back, and to me, this is me honestly. Sign a left back, and I'm a happy man. I think Chiefs has a squad to compete. Other areas that people are worried about, midfield, I think we have enough midfielders. As a number 9, we have Uranga, we have Utuba. Like, we have 2 strikers. Well, we can bring in another one just for competition. So those are the only 2 places really that I can sign, but mainly the left back. And then Oscars is saying, what do you think of Sanele Pans? Sanele Pans is a Stellenbosch player now. Stellenbosch signed him. They were fast with it. They signed Sanele Pans. He's a good player, but he's gone. He's playing for Stellenbosch. They signed him. Teams that are serious, they do their business like that. And then Cobra is saying, Pilo, don't you want Pito to coach Kaizer Chiefs, not Nabi? Upit thinking he would clash with Kaizer Chiefs. So as much as people and we might wish, hey, he must come, it's not realistic. He would fight with Chiefs very fast. So I think that is the thing. Yeah. And Charles is saying, I doubt ukuthi SuperSport will sell Campbell to us. All of us doubt that, because I mean, also I'm saying Chandra Campbell is one for the present and the future. If possible, they can bring him in, of course, but I doubt SuperSport would sell him to us. I think they should charge us more for him. They would definitely, because they would want serious money for that. Umandla saying, I agree, colored players are more determined to succeed despite suffering. Black players don't like Europe because they are no longer bowlers in Europe, and they're expected to work even harder than in SA, and SA players complain. Yo, that is so true. And Bugongezana, the people who are actually shining when they get to that side, are the people who actually are hard workers. They are not known for their flair or how good they were. They were just looked down upon, but they did well. Cobra 10, I say, I wish Kaizer Chiefs can keep Dolly in that number 10 position. He's very good. He just needs players who will support him. Funny enough, bonke labo coach laba badlalile, uzwane wagcina ukudlala uDoli as a 10. These ones have been playing him as a winger. Naye kodwa uzwane wagcina semdlalisa as a winger for some reason. Maxwell is saying Luther Singh is also available. Chiefs needs to approach him. I ega Luther Singh mina iyangixaka indaba. I just Umandla saying, I made a video today saying Nabi's problem at Chiefs will actually be the mentality of black players. Black players are unprofessional. And this is why I think that we need someone from the outside. Because if you bring someone from the outside, they don't care about whether this is how you used to doing things here. The new coach has to come with a mentality of, I am the boss. You do what I say or you are out. I'm sorry. I would rather the coach comes in and then we hear stories like he's fighting with 3 players. I'm fine with that. You know why I'm fine with that? Because I want the coach to be the boss of the dressing room. I don't want anyone telling the coach what he can or cannot do. Uboti is saying, our management is very secretive these days, but would be much better if they consider buying players we have seen from the DStv Premier League, not scams from other leagues. Anyways, you are doing a good job. Thank you. Umanle saying, I don't agree. We need additional players. I mean, that's what I'm saying. For me, I just want to see the players the Chiefs has. under a different coach. Because what's the point of getting 5 new signings, which is likely going to happen, while there are these players that we have not even seen? Trailblazers are saying Chiefs did not change their minds about Cele, but Cele said he wants to stay in Europe. If people watch Stuku and Gerard podcast, they will know black players love nightlife. Yo, they do. Whoa, Khosi, it just. But in Cele too, it was like agreed. Chiefs just somehow something happened and they failed to put the deal over the line. Sitting our coach in Pilo, not abadlali. Can I just say this, because I see this comment a lot of times from different people? Chiefs signs players before they sign a coach because they want a coach, not a manager, right? Me, I prefer having a manager who decides the players that he wants and all of that stuff. But from a business perspective, they think that is not a good thing. So they sign players and then they say to a coach, this is what you get to work with. That's what they do, unfortunately. As much as we don't like it, but that's just the reality. So all the players that you see now being linked with Kaizer Chiefs, they are going to be signed whether the coach is there or not. Because they have looked at the team and they've looked at the style that they want the team to play, and they're saying these are the players the Chiefs is going to sign, regardless. Charlie is saying, I don't think it would hurt to have a little depth. I am for signing of Chandra. You think Chandra would agree to come to Chiefs for depth? That boy, if he comes to Chiefs, is coming to start, and he would want to start. Umshen is injured. And then Ukatleho is saying, who's the perfect match for the left back? For me personally, I would say Chiefs should go for Fawaz Pasadena at Stellenbosch. If not, based on numbers, then it would be Wutina Usea Kulamanj. Wow, the left back Amazul. My problem that I have with him is that he's Namibian, which means he's going to take a foreign sport. So taking a foreign sport for me is a sensitive issue, because I want to give that sport to someone, maybe a striker, because there's no striker that is scoring goals for fun in SA who's going to be affordable for Chiefs. That's very important, because people can say, oh, there's Kaizer Mayo, but it was 36 million beginning of the season, which means right now he's probably 35 million. 40 million, right? So it was 36 beginning, maybe Manje is 50. You have, who's this? The second top goal scorer. Wow, Reyners. Reyners also, how much is it going to cost? It's going to cost a lot. So there is no striker that Kaizer Chiefs can go out and sign right now who's going to come cheap. Unless, of course, they go to Cape Town Spurs and sign that boy who's still not, like, who hasn't played in the league, but is an option because he can play across the front three. Who actually Cupido, but abona nje good tricky. So if ukuzoba trick in SA, go find someone who's doing something outside of South Africa that you have scouted. That is very important. Ukatleho is saying, okay, yeah, saying Pelil. So that's why I'm saying Fawaz Pasadena. Manda saying strikers and goalkeepers, we need additional, and the DM is a big problem. We still don't have a year doctor for that position. Saying opinion about that. Devil is saying, Shompilo, which coach would you prefer and your reasons? Nazruddin Nabi, any day, twice on Sundays. Nazruddin Nabi, we wanted him. He showed that he can win in Tanzania. Although right now it seems like he just bottled the league in Morocco, but like that's one out of the past preseason where he hasn't won the league. So I would definitely go for Nabi, and also he's not understanding. Let me explain what I mean. If Upito Msimane comes to Chiefs, there is also that thing yokuthi abantu abanye, they're expecting so much more, and some people will already say he's overrated. Some people think, oh no, it's because at Sundowns he signed this and that. So it's easy to doubt Upito, and it's easy for people to start making noise, because as much as Upito Msimane is loved by a lot of people, but a lot of people also don't want him at Chiefs for things he said about Chiefs before when he was at Sundowns, for the fact that he coached Sundowns and they had all the resources and now recently because the team that was coaching got relegated. So there are a lot of things that can make fans go crazy if things don't go well for Pito in the first 5 games. But Nabi is coming and most of the fans want him to come, right? So I'm not saying Chiefs should sign him because fans want him to come. But I feel like based on his recent track record, it's much easier for fans to also believe in the project. But Mina personally also, yeah, it's that and the fact that Vela, I've seen Guti, he can do this. And when he speaks about football, the interviews akhe engisawabonile, kunaleyo nto ukuthi yabona the mentality, the mindset that he has is to play the kind of football that I prefer, the attacking kind of football. So I would prefer Unabi for that reason. Umandla saying, yeah, he dominated the midfield one man, whether he faced Trompo or Charlie Opa, it didn't matter. As much as I agree with that, at the same time, ama tactics ase evolve kakhulu. Yabo nje the past 4 years, yes, uyaye vele a midfielder can dominate on his own because uyaye had that thing yokuthi uyakwazi ucontrol ibhola, press resistant, and we kind of don't but do have that player at Chiefs, and that player is Usamkelo Zwane. That boy, even I would say this is a hot take. Usamkelo Zwane has a potential of being better than Renelo Letsolonyane because he has something that Letsolonyane never had, a physique. Samkelo Zwane is a very, very good footballer. Yeah, is the very good footballer, one of the best Kaizer Chiefs has ever had. But you look at Samkelo Zwane, he has attributes of yeah and more if that talent can be nurtured. So I think that he can definitely do that and be better than Uye. And also you look at other midfielders that Chiefs has. Obviously, Umteto can never play yeah, but Umart has the potential of being good, not to the level of yeah, because Samkelo Zwane is better than him. Usteb under good coaching, but Usemdala, you can't teach a good dog, an old dog new tricks. But yeah. I'm trying to say what's going on with Kaizer Junior. Are they done? I'm understanding what's the last part, but it seems like he's being demoted. Manda saying we don't need hardworking players now. We need players with brains. True. So I'm trying to say, are they demoting him? Yes, it does seem like they are demoting him, which I feel like is unfair because why him? Osnovu is saying I think we need a left back and number 10. Cobra is saying when will Chiefs appoint the coach so that he can have more time with players? So they are waiting. Portola League, I think, is finishing this weekend. Portola League is the Moroccan league where Nabi is coaching. So they're likely going to finalize everything with Nabi next week. And then if they finalize everything with Nabi next week, which is the 2nd week of June, and then there's going to be work permits because they've agreed terms with him. They just need to finalize some details. So then he can come to Kaizer Chiefs. So we will see. I Mpilo, today I don't agree with you on being happy with the midfield. I'm also saying do we promote this notion of the club signing players instead of the coach when we don't even have an idea of the coach's philosophy? Mina ndicela ukhetha abadlali for the club ngumsebenzi we-coach. Angithi this is what I was saying earlier. Ukuthi Kaizer Chiefs does not work with coaches. I mean with managers. They work with coaches. A coach is told these are your players. A manager will say, I want these players. That's the difference. You can submit your technical report and say, these are the players I want, or these are the type of players that I need based on the shortcomings that we had this season. But the management can still decide, hey, that's the model that Chelsea are doing. That is why Chelsea, by the way, are released or agreed to terminate the contract of Mauricio Pochettino, because they were in a situation whereby they could just tell him that, hey, we want to do this, but to Pochettino was saying, no, I want to do this. Guys, please like the video. Wow, I just realized, Guti, I haven't asked you to like the video. I haven't asked people to subscribe to the channel. Wow. Why have I not done those things? But yeah, guys, that's that. We'll just wait and see, Guti, who are they bringing. So thank you once again for joining me today. And until next time, go check my other channel. the cutback with Umpilo. I will be posting more videos. That side, if you are a non-Kaizer Chiefs fan and you support other channels, I mean you support other clubs as well, you can find me on that channel talking about everything else. So thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, remember, Khosi, Pelumo.